Now, let's move on to the next part of this presentation. This is Julia Miliama and I will be with you to reflect on the question, how to sustain participatory planning? Participatory planning is a systematic action that involves specific competencies and input of the whole community to achieve the desired future. In order to sustain participatory planning, it is important for people to have the willingness to invest their time, effort, and resources to achieve their goals. And the only thing that can sustain that kind of commitment is having the relevant ideas in your mind. Ortega y Gasset, a philosopher and humanist, believes that once a person's enthusiasm to achieve something impossible is ignited, he or she will aim and work for it to fulfill that idea in his or her mind. Can you think of any massive social movements from the past? Those massive social movements from the past were in fact initiated by ideas of a particular kind. The development of an ideology usually begins with formulation of desired ends. From those lists of desired ends, a very detailed set of means is worked out and eventually accepted to be the only way to meet that goal. However, sometimes ideologies are a set of principles laid down by an authority that does not apply to dynamic conditions and desires. In the end, the ends are often forgotten and the means become ends in themselves. Now, let's move on to idealized design, an ideal seeking system. And the essential question for this part is, how can a national idealized design effort be initiated in a less than well-developed country? An idealized design expresses the designer's vision of the system they would build right now if they could build any technologically feasible and operationally viable system that they desire. It is neither utopian nor progressive because it is feasible to improve an idealized design. In short, it should be based on the realization that no ideal can exist forever. There are two constraints of an idealized design. First, it may not involve a feasible technology. This restriction is in place to keep an idealized design from becoming a science fiction story. Secondly, the system must be operationally feasible. That is, it must be able to survive. Aside from this, there are no financial, political, legal, social, or other sorts of restrictions. The designs that emerge from the process of idealization frequently become mobilizing concepts. Some of the reasons behind this are: first, the design process encourages broad engagement from all individuals who may be affected by the system in question. Anyone may participate in the idealization process because no particular skills are required. It also allows individuals involved to think deeply and learn about a system that is significant to them and also to the whole community. Second, idealization procedure is greater designed for innovation than would otherwise be the case. Because feasibility or practicality isn't a necessity of an idealized design, it tends to free designers' imagination and create competition among them in this regard. Third, and perhaps most importantly, idealization broadens the designer's concept of visibility. There are always certain qualities in a system that none of its elements have. Similarly, a plan might be feasible even if none of its components are evaluated individually. Therefore, an idealization is a strong tool for turning the seemingly impossible into feasible and organizing a group effort to achieve it. There are interdependent actions required for the creation of techniques to approximate the design. First, specification of the means by which the desired ends can be obtained. Second, determination of what resources will be required to employ these means and how and when the required resources will be obtained and used. Third, design of the organization and management system required to implement the plan. And fourth, design of implementation and its control. Idealized design isn't everything when it comes to planning, but it may be a big part of it. The author of this paper, Russel Ackoff, believes that a good way to initiate a national idealized design effort in a less than well-developed country is to launch a crusade for development with a holy grail to a higher quality of life for everyone. He suggested the following ways to launch the crusade for development. First, call each segment of Mexican society to participate in idealized redesign of the country. Second, develop a council for national development where idealized designs and plans resulting from them will be submitted. Third, the council should disseminate information and results to relevant public and private agencies and organizations. It should ensure that various participant groups working in relevant fields are in contact with one another and, when feasible, interact and cooperate. Fourth, the council should hold at least one national conference per year where findings would be presented and discussed in an open forum. Fifth, they should start a journal of Mexican development that would publish studies pertinent to the subject and accessible to the general public, as well as offer national recognition for outstanding contributions to national development through citations and prizes. Mexico is extremely likely to be subjected to a significant and perhaps violent political restructuring rather, unless an effort to establish such a movement is started. However, this would be a huge tragedy for the people who cherish democracy as much as the Mexicans do. So, what do you think of this matter? Do you agree with the author's suggestion to start a crusade for development? Please share your thoughts with us. We would really appreciate it.